All right, we are live here with Aaron Rodgers himself, the man, the founder of A51 and all the magnificence that is. But hey, right out the gate, let's just you like that, Davis? Let's just I got to talk about something here real quick before we get into it with Aaron, and it's going to be a hoot tonight. Every time I talk with Aaron, um, he's just a real fun guy to talk with. We always have a blast. So, but one thing I really excited to talk about here is I've recently signed a deal with Beast Racing, and so now I'm part of the Beast Racing team. And A51's done a lot of stuff with them in the past. Nathan Jurgensen and Lou, those guys are hanging out with us all the time. And I'm very happy to be with them. So I'm still going to be doing stuff with A51 a lot, but in an official capacity, when it comes down to time doing the big races, I'll be racing with Beast Racing. And yeah, they're awesome guys. If I didn't believe in them and if I didn't like the guys in it, I most certainly wouldn't be a part of it. But here we are. So let's get right down to business. Tonight we have our very first guest. It's Mr. Aaron Rodgers himself. Tell him, hey, Aaron.
What's up, guys?
Yes, and
I even
Aaron.
brought out my high quality microphone.
Oh, I know he's gonna sound better than me on this thing. I do have a
Oh
new
my
microphone
god.
on the way, but
But
but you know, Aaron is a YouTube streamer. You can check him out at youtube.com/RogersA51. He's also the founder of the A51 racing team and the group of guys that hang out there, and just an awesome, awesome group of guys. And we'll talk about that in a bit. But well, Aaron, how you feeling tonight? How are the doggies?
oh, they're fine. They're fine, and yeah, I think you embellish a lot, being like the founder of this team, and
Well, you
it,
are.
I, yeah, well, yeah, that was at the push of a lot of different people, but it's really just a group of guys that are all kind of like minded, and you're one of them, and there's a lot of other guys that are kind of like minded individuals.
Hold on, Aaron. I don't know why, but they're saying you're not sounding the best. Let me see if I can fix that here.
Okay.
He sounds good up for me. What's it sound like? Is he cutting out or is he is he cutting out or is he sounding muffled? What do we get in chat? You sound perfect on my end, which is the funny thing. Quality, quality. Thank you, Mark. We're trying to figure out right now. Aaron, give him a head. Okay, let's turn Aaron up a little bit. Aaron, go ahead and say hey.
Hey.
Okay.
Randy sounds perfect. Aaron's chopped and screwed.
And the funny thing is, Aaron, to me, you sound absolutely clear and wonderful. So,
Interesting.
how about now, guys? Is he sounding okay? Oh, sounds like he's got a bad cold. Are you sick, Aaron?
No, not really. I think that they're not used to hearing my actual voice. I think that's what it is.
Oh,
I think that they're probably used to hearing me through the Corsair
oh, you know what?
microphone.
That's true. Because every time
So,
you do anything with me in the stream, they're like, "That's
mhm.
Aaron." I'm like,
Yeah, it
"Yeah,
doesn't sound the same.
yeah, okay,
Yep,
okay."
exactly. So I mean,
Come on,
this is
guys.
how I sound. I
Quit.
sound a little different.
Chat's already wasting time on the stream. Thanks, guys.
I
That's two
know.
minutes we'll never get back.
No, I will hold you guys after class.
All right. So hey, let's jump right in. Um, Aaron, Aaron's super humble dude. Doesn't like taking credit for the stuff he's done, but he's responsible for a lot of guys taking off, and I'm one of those guys. I started watching Aaron's videos. I wouldn't have come back to iRacing had I not watched Aaron's videos because I was sick of getting wrecked, sick of guys dooring me, sick of doing all those things, and I saw Aaron's videos. He was running a high level, racing guys door to door, and it was fine. So it's where we still having issues, guys. I guess we're just gonna roll with it, and then for the podcast, I'll just download it and fix it myself. So we'll do that. I'm gonna record this at this time too. Then, so here we go. Okay, then, because you sound perfect to me. I don't know what it is. So, Aaron, let's hear your story and how you got into iRacing. How in the world, what got you into iRacing, and what got you into streaming, really?
Well, I mean, really, it's a really long story, but what happened was originally I got into a really bad car accident, and was laid up and couldn't work and had nothing better to do other than just hang around YouTube and was looking at video game stuff and for whatever reason, just was kind of floating around, and I saw iRacing, and I saw Jeff Fabiano in his videos, and I watched all his stuff, and then was catching it live, and I thought it was really interesting, and I thought it was really really cool. I didn't have anything to do that. I didn't have a gaming PC. I didn't have a steering wheel. I didn't have anything, and basically kind of put it together and got a cheap gaming computer and bought iRacing and kind of soldiered into it that way. But I just wanted to do it for a little bit and then try the streaming aspect of it, like everybody kind of wants to. It's more fun to do things with other people around. But the streaming aspect of it, that's really kind of the genesis of that. Just doing that. But the early videos are really hard to watch. You can look at them and they are rough in terms. I think the first video that I have it's me in the K&N at Bristol, and I'm pretty sure that iRacing Live, like the live feed from their webpage, kicks up in the middle of the feed. Like in the middle of the race, you start hearing iRacing Live in the background doing something else. It's just yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
But that's how I got into it. But I really wanted to get up, and then discovered NIS and those longer races, and that was it.
That's an awesome story. So this car wreck, how did the car wreck happen?
It was just a normal, well, not normal, but it was a car accident where basically, you can think of it like this. I was driving down the road. There was a small kind of kink in the road on my way to work, and I had a guy who fell asleep coming the other way, and we hit head on going about 50. So I had to have surgery and
Oh my gosh.
everything. Yeah, I was laid up for a little bit, and that's really what kind of got me into it. Really watching so much during that time is what really got me interested.
Wow. I didn't know it was that bad. Like it was 50 mile an hour head on. That's insane. Well, no wonder you were laid up for so long. That's
Yeah.
funny. And Jeff Fabiano. You and I have joked about Jeff Fabiano. It's funny because I watched him after I started watching you, and like, it's weird how when you get better at iRacing, like I used to watch Fabiano, and I was like, oh gosh, he's so fast. I'm never gonna be as fast as him. And like now I watch his video, I was like, he's kind of slow. So
Yeah, it's like, what line is he running there? Yeah, it's totally different. Things change over time, and I'll give him this. He does a lot of different things. He doesn't dedicate himself to just that, like I do, or you do, or or whatever have you.
so Aaron, you were talking about your early streams, and it's funny. You do have a Twitch channel, and the funny thing is when you
I
added
do.
me on Twitch, there was a couple little videos on there, right?
Oh, are there still some up there? I have no idea.
Check this out, Aaron. So this is what Aaron's streams used to look like way back in the day. Let's check this out here. And look at this. Oh, I gotta turn the sound on now.
So we're happy to kind of conserve tires here.
Oh man, Aaron, your mic doesn't sound that great too.
Not a good corner.
Oh, in the like currently or in like the old streams?
The old streams. No steering wheel in there.
Nope.
Oh, it's
No steering
beautiful.
wheel.
I think we can try
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
awesome.
no VR and everything. Look at the frame rate also. 160 frames.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Thank you. Hey, by the way, guys, if you have any questions for Aaron, go ahead and put them in the chat, and we'll try to pick out the best ones towards the end of the stream, so that Aaron can answer those. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Both what, Hydro? Both what? All right.
Sounds terrible now and then.
So that's how Aaron got to start, guys. He got in a huge wreck, and he was laid up, and he was watching Jeff Faviano. Jeff Faviano, if you're watching, he spawned a pretty good streamer here, and Aaron has grown now into, geez, one of the biggest oval YouTubers in iRacing. It's crazy. And how long have you been doing it, Aaron?
Um, Honestly, I don't know. I would say um roughly 3 years now. From bottom to top, maybe 3 years, something like that.
Man. Yeah, and he's just been growing, and like now it's growing even more, which is really cool. So, if you haven't followed him already, it's youtube.com/RodgersA51. And all right, Aaron, I've been really excited to talk to you about this because I remember I spotted for you last week, and it did not seem like you wanted to talk about it, but now you have to, because you're on my stream. But we have to talk some iRacing news, and we have to talk about the new car package. And
Yeah.
you go ahead and give opinion on it first, and I'll talk about it. And then if we disagree, we can debate it out. But I'd love to hear what you think, truly, about this new package for the A car.
I would say in terms of iRacing, it's a lot of fun to drive. It's not nearly as difficult to drive. It's you can really climb into it and just enroll it. You can do practice and that'll help you, but you can climb in and just drive. It's not like the old A car where you could lay on the throttle and just spin yourself out or whatever. It's just, especially there at Auto Club, which is where I ran it last, is there the car has to be so loose to turn through the corners when we had the older kind of setup with the low downforce and everything. But with this, it's really just cracking the gas and driving through. It's a lot like driving the truck or the B car. It's a lot of fun. The drafting up is really interesting in terms of how you use it and hanging people out. It's a different kind of racing altogether. It's really interesting. I think it's fun. I'm a little disappointed that it's not more difficult. I really wish that they would really put those setups more towards the edge, rather than having them be so safe. But I don't know. I mean, it may not be any faster to be on the edge with that kind of setup. I'm not sure. I don't think any of us have run it long enough to really know.
Oh, Hydra, we'll ask him. We'll ask him at the end. I see it. We'll ask him about real racing. Don't worry about it. Hey, it's Chris. How you doing, buddy? So, yeah, I agree with you, Aaron. I thought it was too easy, and I thought maybe the Cup cars would be like that too. But you saw Harvick in the beginning of that race having the car so loose, even in that package, he could barely hang on to it. And I wish, right, they in the fixed series, they would have it to where you at least if you're trying too hard, it'll bust loose. You touch that apron. Just now, you touch that apron, you're gonna tighten up and hit the wall, and you're fine. So
Yeah. Well, a lot of it is, I mean, with how much of a hole they're putting in the air because of the high downforce. If you're behind somebody, the cars are really, really tight. So they have to run them that loose. So when they get clean air and they have that downforce, I mean, the car is out of control when they have all that air. I
yeah,
mean, they just have to be so, so loose so they're not arrow pushing behind somebody. And then they get out into clean air and they're real loose.
yeah. And one thing I gotta clarify too, this isn't it's not really iRacing's fault. They just followed NASCAR's plan for what they thought the package would be. So this isn't really on iRacing as it is NASCAR. And NASCAR wasn't thinking about people driving in them in a simulator. They wanted what was best for TV. And so overall, Aaron, what would you say? Thumbs up, thumbs down on the new A car package.
For iRacing or racing in real life?
iRacing, that's next. We'll talk about that next. Yeah.
For iRacing, I mean, I thought it was enjoyable. I mean, I think it was enjoyable. It's very, very different. So, I mean, I'll give it a thumbs up for now, but we'll see what it's like at other tracks. I'm interested to see what it runs like at 1.5 milers and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, I'd have to say it's kind of like it's like this. It's a thumb in the middle because when it's good racing, it is the most fun I've had on the sim. You just made a move between two guys and you got through there. It's so much fun. But then it's really a bummer when a guy you race at other tracks, just runs in the back of you, takes you out and takes you out of the race, and any place else you'd gap them. So I think for guys that are much faster than me, for guys like you, Aaron, and like J-Bo and even John and the Pete guys, it's like a ball and chain. It's like a
Yeah,
handicap for you guys. And then
it
for
is. I mean, you cannot, and you just can't. There's a lot less that separates kind of drivers that can really put it on the edge and drivers that aren't comfortable putting it so close to the edge.
right,
And it's not, and again, it's not the first time this has happened. I remember it was probably a year and a half ago when this was before they did the low downforce package, back before the high downforce package when they did that, and they went to this higher downforce package. I think it was 2 years ago. That was a big deal, and everybody complained about it, that the cars were too easy to drive. And then they went back to the low downforce package like we were just on, and now we're back to a really high downforce package. So, I mean, it comes and goes. I mean,
yeah,
everything comes in cycles, and eventually we'll get tired of this and we'll run low downforce again.
yeah. I really really enjoyed the A car before this, because I think it was a monster to hang on to on old tires,
Yeah.
and you had to worry about hanging on to that car, and you got cars outside of you. You're like, man, just having a car right there, I'm gonna get loose. Yeah, Chris says take the splitter off, and boy, I wish. So let's transition from iRacing now over into real NASCAR. Um, I think what has happened in iRacing is what um, NASCAR had in mind for the Cup car, where we saw the peak race. Where oh my goodness, did you ever end up watching the last few laps of that, Aaron?
I didn't, unfortunately, I didn't. But yeah, I mean, I heard about that, and I think that yeah, they had plans that the racing would probably be a little bit tighter than it has been. Um, but ultimately, I'm kind of happy that it turned out that way, though. Um, that you
Yes.
still do get some separation in the pack, and people can still drive away. It's not just people lined up and drafting and
Yeah.
stuff like that. But it's part of me doesn't like it just because I feel like they took away um, the adjustable track bar, and that's really what this package could use, which is an adjustable track bar for when you're behind somebody and your car's really really tight, and you can run the track bar up, and then when you're out from behind somebody, then you can run it back down or whatever you need to do to tighten and loosen the car up, just because they're so aero dependent right now. But
Yeah.
yeah. I think that they'll probably make a tweak to it, probably middle of the season, to try and refine it a little bit more. But I think it's not exactly how they want it to be just yet.
Right. Yeah. Do you think that's what they want is like restrictor plate racing almost every track they go to? You think that's what they're going for?
No, I don't think that that's what they're going for. I think that they don't want people to be able to pass somebody and then just drive away. I think what they want is they want to get some kind of, more kind of interaction where it's like passing somebody and then they pass you back. I think that that's really what they wanted, and that's what they have. But two cars battling really pulls up the other one. And if you watch older NASCAR stuff, that's with those cars that had higher downforce. They didn't have sides, or they weren't as aero dependent, but they were moving slower. They still punched a big hole in the air just because they weren't so refined in how they dispersed the air. So they didn't have splitters, they didn't have side skirts. The quarters were really high up off the ground. So they punched big holes in the air, and people could still get big runs behind them. Problem is, turn them around, they take flight. That's the big problem.
Oh man. Well, Nate was actually at the race just yesterday. Wow. Seems like it's been like a ton of hours, but that was just yesterday. Nate said he was there, and he said the cars were quiet, and when you're right up there on the fence, when those cars drive by, you can feel the air just coming off them, and he said the sensation wasn't nearly as strong as it used to be, and he was kind of disappointed in that. So we'll see where it goes. I don't think it's gonna work because I don't think the cars are so much different from each other. Like a Stuart Haas car, you know, is so much far and beyond like a Michael McDowell. You know, you,
Mm-hmm.
you slow the cars down, it's just gonna show the how much difference there is in equipment. Anyways, that's my opinion on it. Because on a car like that, if you're just driving it like that, there shouldn't be that much of a gap. But again, it just shows how different the equipment is. But maybe they'll fix it. I
Yeah.
hope so. Um, because the end of that race was a snoozer, man. I actually did fall asleep during the race. I literally fell asleep during the race, and I was really mad because I fell asleep, and I meant to put someone from my bench into the race in fantasy, and I fell asleep, woke up, and it was too late, and I was so mad. I was like, dang it. So good stuff.
Yeah.
So
Trust me, I left. I got busy at the record store because whatever, and I forgot. I had Martin Truex in my lineup, and then I had Brad Keselowski just sitting in the garage. I didn't get a chance to swap them out.
oh man, I know, and he got that damage, and it was over. Hot tip, guys. Kurt Busch has been pulling the load for me this year, and
Yeah, I've used him a couple times. Yeah.
yeah, you wouldn't think he is, and this is great because he's helped me save on my other guys, which has been absolutely awesome. All right, so chat. What do you guys feel about? How do you guys feel about the iRacing new car package, A package, if you've driven it? Mark, I spotted for you last night. I know you have an opinion on it. And how do you guys feel about the NASCAR new package? And it's definitely an interesting debate. nevertheless. And so, Aaron, one thing I absolutely love about you is your love for classic NASCAR. This guy
Yeah.
right here, I think it was a matter of a couple months, watched the entire 1993 NASCAR season on YouTube. Didn't you?
Yeah. No, I've watched far more than that, but I started with 92.
Oh, so you watched 92 through what?
92 until they took all the videos down like a month or two ago. I watched 92 through, I think I ended up stopping, and it was I think it was 1998.
So were you, did you have to stop because they pulled all those videos down?
Actually, you know what? No, I watched through 97. Well, a lot of the videos, they're just gone. You're missing races and you miss kind of the whole kind of story as
Yeah.
it builds through the whole season. But there's still some. I mean, even the seasons I watched where there's not a version of it uploaded, where you miss one race or something like that. But for the most part, you could watch through a whole season. But I started with 92 just because that's the season that everybody says that was the best. I mean, it's the tightest points championship. There's a lot there. Alan Quickie, spoilers, he won the championship.
Um,
But it came down to just the most minute things. It didn't look like he was going to win. And to watch that drama kind of unfold in real time and see him, on the hook at, I think it was Phoenix, a couple races before the end, and he's like, we're not out of it, but it's going to take something special.
yeah.
And really kind of seeing that, that not give up attitude from there and watch it kind of develop. That's what you don't get in like highlight videos, and it's like, yeah, the 92 championship was a great battle, and here's why. But watching it really unfold in real time and watch Alan Quickie stay out and lead an extra lap on a green flag run, at Atlanta, and that's what won the championship. And watching them run side by side, him and Bill Elliott, who he's battling for the championship, watching them run side by side for lap after lap, and just if Bill Elliott was a bumper ahead of him at the line, it would have been his championship. For one lap. It's incredible what it came down to, really. But just watching different drivers come through and the rides that they went through and how they developed, and seeing old sponsors and old drivers and stuff, I find that really cool. And I was a huge fan as a kid, and a lot of that comes from my parents and that whole kind of classic NASCAR stuff. They were going to races when I was very, very young, and I went to a bunch of races younger, and I remember them pretty fondly. I mean, I was there at that Atlanta race in 92. I watched that happen as a kid.
Man. Well, Zimmy cheered 100, and he said 92 was the best season ever. I cried when Davey crashed. Yeah, that's one of the
Yep.
saddest moments. I mean, that was a really rough couple of years in NASCAR, with
Yeah.
Kawicki and Davey. And so, did you watch those moments again live as you did that?
Yeah. Yeah, and Neil Bonnet as well. And I mean, you got to remember that a lot of those incidents happened off the track. So,
Yeah.
Alan Kawicki, that was after. It was Kawicki and Davey, and then Neil Bonnet, and that was 94. It was a really, really dark time. There were other people who had, died elsewhere, but those were dark times. But it's funny. My parents were actually at the Bristol race, where Alan Kawicki had died. I think it was earlier in the week, but
They drove that hauler around.
yeah, and they drove the hauler around. They did that. Nobody
Oh
was
my
there.
gosh.
Happened,
Yeah.
but yeah, plane, helicopter, and testing. You're right, Scott. So my parents were there for that weekend. They had tickets for Bristol, and they were there for the Food City 250 and the Food City 500. And I mean, it's crazy. The races my parents have been to, a lot of them are really important races.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
that people are, crying their eyes out. So Buck Racer Dad in the chat, that would be my dad, and he can tell you exactly what happened because he was there. I wasn't there for that.
Yeah.
My parents went without me.
I have to admit, because I remember Natalie Quickie died, but I was so young. But
Mhm.
I went back and I watched like that, and they show the drivers and stuff and how choked up they were. And I tell you, if you've never seen it, and you watch that, you're gonna tear up. It is horribly sad, and they drive that hauler around the track one last time. It is
Mhm.
one of the saddest things. I mean, life is
Yeah,
always more dramatic than movies,
and
and
yeah, real life is the ultimate drama, and they, of course, naturally, it wouldn't be any other way. It was pouring rain.
mm-hmm.
You know,
Man,
it really just it's crazy to watch some of those things and watch kind of rivalries develop and stuff like that, and see, in that kind of era where Earnhardt was almost untouchable. In those early '90s, it's just like you could try to beat him, but it's just the consistency just got you every time, and then seeing Jeff Gordon come in and seeing him kind of suck the first year and then really kind of start to put it together really quick after.
this is crazy.
It's
So
cool. I mean, it really is to kind of to enjoy that and really watch it. And the fans and the stands are packed, and it's a totally different atmosphere that just could not exist today.
yeah. Well, how about because Aaron loves the old racing seasons. Um, I know that he has just a bunch of vintage NASCAR T-shirts, and
I do.
oh
I do. I
man,
have too many.
how many do you think you have? If you're gonna give an estimate,
Oh man. In terms of like NASCAR associated ones, or like specific just like driver T-shirts,
just like old school '80s, '90s racing shirts.
racing shirts.
That counts, yeah.
I'd say probably no less than like 30 or 40.
Man, that's still a lot though. I have two. No,
You
I
have
have
two?
I have a ton, but a lot of them don't fit me actually. So
Yeah.
we need to start giving those away soon too. I forgot I had those to give away, but you have to
Yeah.
be a
No.
XL. So
Yeah. You got to be an XL. That's the thing, is it's like I'm not to be honest with you, you look on eBay and stuff, all these NASCAR fans, they're really fat guys. They're all XLs and stuff, and they're
yeah,
huge. And trying to find stuff in like small and medium that I can wear and not look like I'm just wearing a moo that's tough.
you know what's funny, Aaron? It's funny you say moo. I was debating on whether or not doing like this desk here and like the late night talk show background, or having like being in a NASCAR infield with like a trailer behind me with like some huge woman with a mullet on there drinking her bush.
I think you picked right.
That was gonna be it.
Yeah, I think you chose wisely.
Okay. Here's a question everyone wants to know, Aaron.
Sure.
We get. I think I hear this one every week. I don't know if you do. Here's the question, chat. We need your backup on this one. The question is, are you and I long lost brothers?
I don't know. I mean, Buck Racer Dad could probably answer that better than me, but it's honestly, it's
And he's
funny.
here.
So and he's here. So when you did the I had seen pictures, but it's just a picture, and then you did the face cam reveal and everything. I'm like, man, I said Randy and I look a lot alike. Could easily pass for blood, and it's just funny. My Anna, my wife, she had said the same thing. She was just like, yeah, you guys could easily be related. And other people have seen my picture, and it's not really out there. I've never shown my face on stream or anything like that, but some people have done enough detective work that they found pictures of me, and they're like, yeah, absolutely, you could be related.
That's insane. That is so insane. So, I've got a series of questions for you to answer, and then I'll answer. We're going to get to the bottom of this right now. Are Aaron and I related? Aaron, favorite NASCAR manufacturer?
Current Ford.
Ford? Okay. I like Chevy. Okay. Best soda on the planet?
Ooh, Baja Blast.
I can't stand Mountain Dew Baja Blast.
Are you serious?
You gotta give me a cherry vanilla Dr. Pepper. Oh, so
A
good.
diet cherry vanilla.
No, not diet. Diet soda is so nasty and very bad for you folks. Stay off that stuff.
RC Cola. There you go. Yeah, that's pretty
RC,
cool.
that was good stuff. That's yeah. Chad, go ahead and answer these questions with us if you want. What's your favorite NASCAR manufacturer? What's your favorite soda?
You know, I did have another soda that was really, really good. There's a gas station near my house, and they carry a lot of like kind of like Mexican like snacks and beverages and things like that. And one thing that they had was they had, like glass bottle Coke and stuff.
Oh
They didn't
yeah.
have that. It was Fresca in a glass
Ooh.
bottle. So Fresca
Yeah.
is normally like a diet drink, so it's made with like, aspartame and stuff. It doesn't have sugar in it, 0 calorie. This stuff had sugar in it, and it tasted unreal. It was so good.
Man, yeah. I see. That's one thing. And here we do have we have a little Mexican restaurant, and it actually has the old school Mexican bottle Coke. And oh my gosh, every time I go in there, I drink one. It's so much better than the Coke we have here. I don't like regular Coke, but you give me like a
Mhm.
Mexican Coke in a glass bottle, it's better. As a
I
matter
don't
of
know if
fact, I tried peanuts in a glass bottle Coke because of you, Aaron.
Okay, people probably don't know what that is, but yeah, so like down south, like people will put peanuts in Coca-Cola. I don't know why, but they do it, and it's kind of like it creates like this salty kind of sweet thing, and the peanuts kind of yeah. It's a southern thing. I don't know what it is, but if you haven't tried it, try it. Next time you get Coke at the gas station, you can buy one of those little sleeves of like Planters peanuts,
Yeah.
salted peanuts in there.
So
Try it out.
here's a challenge, you A51 guys. Here's what I want to see. In the A51 Discord, I want to see you guys either having a video or a picture of putting peanuts in Coke and trying it. It's actually good. I thought Aaron was absolutely out of his mind when he told me about it. But
Yeah, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, but it
Yeah.
is. You gotta try it one time.
Okay, Aaron, we're 0 for 2. Uh, what is your let's see, favorite color? Give me your favorite color.
Blue.
No, mine's purple. We're kind of close on that one.
Look at
Kinda
your
close.
background. Look at your blue plaid shirt. Look at your headphones. It's not blue.
It really isn't. I know it should be. Well, maybe it is. Mine is purple though. So okay, that was kind of close. We're kind of close on that one.
We're on this. We're on the same end of the color spectrum.
Okay.
We'll give it that.
So if you don't mind me asking, are you a smaller guy or are you a bigger guy?
I'm built almost exactly like you. I'm gonna guess that you probably weigh 140, 150 pounds.
I just, for the first time in my life, weighed in at like 148, which is by far the most I've ever weighed in my life. I
Yeah.
used to average at like 135, which is tiny.
Yeah.
So
I'm a little bit bigger than a little bit bigger, but
Yeah.
yeah, I float right around in that like 150, 145 range.
oh my gosh, that reminds me too. When Aaron had a picture of a 5 Alive can, and he posted it up on the Discord, I could actually see his hand on the 5 Alive can, and no joke, same exact hand as mine. It was freaky.
Freaky.
It was messed up. All right. Opinion on what was I gonna say here? Oh yeah, opinion on Dale Earnhardt. A great driver, overrated. What do you think about Dale Earnhardt?
Senior?
Dale Senior. Yeah, I'm sorry, not Junior. Everybody loves Junior.
Yeah. Well, junior I would say is overrated, but senior I would say he's not overrated. When I was a younger person, I did not like Dale Earnhardt at all. Part of that was bred into me because we were huge Mark Martin fans, and that whole saga between those two it goes on and on and on, And for anybody who hasn't, I mean, listen to the Mark Martin podcast. There's not a ton of episodes, but he talks a little bit about it, and all that happened. But there's a lot there. But overall, I mean, Dale Earnhardt, I respect it. You don't win 7 championships for being overrated. That's not
Oh
possible.
yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, so we're kind of close on that one too. I loved him when I was little. And matter of fact, because of that, I didn't like Mark Martin when I was little. Because anytime I thought Dale was gonna win a race, Mark Martin was there. And I remember one of the first races I ever watched. Mark Martin was winning at Watkins Glen. It was like a lap to go. He lost a tire or something, and Dale got to win it because of that. But yeah.
Yeah, you're talking about Sonoma.
Was that Sonoma?
It was Sears. Well, Sears Point then, but
Yeah.
yeah. So Sears Point. It was funny. A guy had blown up and with 2 to go, and they came through and they went through the old carousel. This was the longer Sears Point where they actually got onto the drag strip, which I believe we're going to see part of this year in Cup. I think they're going back to the longer layout, or at least partially. So going through the carousel, he got into there before Earnhardt and drove right through the oil and got out wide, and Earnhardt got underneath him and
Exactly.
out he went. But I think that was
That was a good race.
I think that was 95.
Was it?
I
Yeah.
think it might have been 95 or 96 because Mark won Watkins Glen 3 years in a row, and I believe that was, I want to say that was 94, 95, and 96, and he won Sears Point at one point as well.
Yeah. That was the first race I ever watched start to finish. So yeah, okay. Kind of close on Dale. Wife's hair color.
Depends on the month because Anna changes her hair color all the time.
Oh, does she really? Okay.
Yeah. Like I mean extreme colors, so like orange, green, blue.
That is awesome. Okay, when you met her, what was her hair color? I guess we'll okay. Do you have a preference of hair color on her then?
Oh,
But you know what? You better not answer that. Let's.
no, honestly, she's done it in like a rainbow, which was really, really cool.
Oh, that's cool.
She's done it in like kind of like a peachy color. She's done it in like a really deep red. She's done it in green. She's done everything. But when I first met her, her hair was her natural color, which is like a very dark brown.
Dark
You know,
brown.
almost.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jessica's is blonde, so I guess rainbow and blonde. That's kind of far off. Okay. It's not looking like we're related so far.
No.
Hydro's got a good one. Favorite production car?
Oh man, like ever?
Yep. If you could, I mean, if you could own any car, what would it be?
Man, I don't know.
One. Only one though.
Only one. I mean, my family were always into like Mopars and stuff. You know, the car that I always wanted was a '70 Roadrunner.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Oh yeah.
That was the car that I always thought looked the best. You know that I think it was a C body, and it had the loop grill before they went in '71, and they kind of did away with the bumper, and the whole loop grill was the bumper.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That'd be the car that Daisy Duke drove in the Dukes of Hazzard. She drove a '71.
Oh yeah.
As a B, my dad would know. That's a B body. There we go.
Yeah. Your dad's pushing the conspiracy, by the way. Bruce, you know the answer. He's like, I don't know, blood brothers. They have very.
I know. Of all people, we should know. But honestly, I look a lot more like my dad's brother, my uncle, than I probably look like my dad per se. But yeah. So the real question is, where was my uncle so many years ago? Ooh.
That's the question. We want answers, Bruce. So that's cool you say old muscle car, because I'd choose an old muscle car too, because I love the old Chevelles. They actually weren't that powerful, but I love that body. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I see a red one with like black stripes down it. It just drives me insane. 67, right? You got, that's got to be the year, right? Oh man, I would take.
My dad had a Chevelle. I can't remember what year his was. He had I think it was a convertible Chevelle.
Mark says 69 Camaro. Beard Chaser says 32 Deuce Coupe.
Yeah, there you go.
That's awesome. Chris says 97 Camaro. Awesome, guys. Keep them coming. Bruce says 69 half Dodge Super B 6-pack. Oh, those were cool looking cars, man.
Yeah, they had the split grill. So they had like
almost
like a teardrop grill that was split. Those are really neat.
Jackson the Troll says 2001 Ford Ranger.
Ford Ranger. I love it. It's my favorite. Great. Any car is an option, I'm taking a Ranger.
All right. Aaron, we're going to play a little bit of a word association game. So, by the way, the mystery, I'm going to say inconclusive. Are we long lost brothers? I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know.
And let's play a little bit of a word game, Aaron. And I'm going to say a word. You know how this works. You say the first thing that comes to mind without even thinking about it, okay?
I'll try my best. I'm not generally good at this because I generally think too much, but I'll try.
Yeah, well, don't think about it, okay? Let's do it.
Okay.
We'll throw out an easy one to start it off. Anna.
May.
That's first thing came. Okay.
That's her middle name.
That's her middle name? Okay. I was like, is that her birthday? Okay, so May. All right, all right.
No,
Caruso.
Rocky.
That's first
That's
that
our
came to
other
mind.
dog.
Yep,
That's
that's
our
her
other
dog.
dog. Yeah.
Okay. Rusty Wallace.
Miller.
Miller. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Okay, okay. Caden Honeycutt.
Rival.
The funny thing is, guys, I told
That's-
I told Aaron I wasn't even gonna say anything. I just
And then that's like, I'm like, if you say that, that's what I'm going to say. You know, even though it's like, honestly, Kate and I have raced since things got so hot and everything was absolutely fine. We didn't
Yeah.
find nothing even happened.
yeah, we love Caden Honeycutt. It was just funny because I told Aaron I was gonna do it and I threw it in the word association.
You did. You liar.
Winston.
Salem, only because I live here.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I've driven through there, by the way. That's actually a bigger town than you expect. Video games.
iRacing.
iRacing. Well, now you just went and you just completely lost me about half my followers. Thank you for saying that.
Sorry.
iRacing is not a video game. Okay?
Oh, that's right. I didn't even
Right,
think of it that way.
It's a
Yeah, what's your-
simulation. We take this stuff serious now. Don't you know that?
Simulation, excuse me.
Okay, back to my list here. Back to my list. Charlotte.
I would say the Winston. Just
The
night
Winston.
racing in general, yeah.
The night racing. One Hot Night. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
92.
yeah. Did you ever watch that documentary, by the way? One Hot Night?
I'm sure that I have, yeah.
Oh, it's amazing. Guys, check it
I
out.
remember watching it live. I believe I still have the poster. That was the Winston One Hot Night. Had all the drivers and stuff on the outside of it.
All right, let's keep this thing rolling here. Monster Cup.
Honestly, I think it's Supercross before I think of NASCAR.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. Oh, you're a Supercross fan, aren't you?
Yeah,
Oh, well, you guys stay tuned because after this, we're having the Supercross podcast.
Supercross podcast. Cooper Webb.
You know, I honestly haven't watched it in the last about 5 years, but back in the day, boy, Kevin Windham and Jeremy McGrath, those were my boys, man.
Yeah,
Those
I got
were
to
the
meet
days.
Kevin Windham.
He's a good dude, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a super cool dude. He's from Louisiana. Super nice when I met him. It's a funny story. So my dad and I, we used to go on. They were AMA tours. You could buy a tour package from AMA, and you would get to go in for the qualifying sessions, and you had basically a track pass. You got to walk the track with the riders and stuff, and hang out in the pits. Had basically all access pass. You could really go anywhere you wanted, and it was really really cool. But we did that in Detroit twice.
You guys have been in Michigan all this time, and I had no idea. Ah, jeez.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
Bruce, I'll be texting you soon. Okay. So before we move on, though, I think I kind of feel like I have this elitist opinion about motocross, just like I have NASCAR. Like, I'm always like, oh, man, those were the glory days back in the day and anything. But I actually watched a little bit of racing here this year, and it's just as good as it was back then, in my humble opinion. you know?
It's a great product. If you like good racing and stories and stuff, it's finally at a point where anybody can win again. You know, in that series where it's not just one guy just sweeping and sweeping and sweeping, and it's Supercross is a lot of fun. You know, I'm kind of bummed that they've kind of backburned it on the coverage for NBC. So like this weekend at Indianapolis, that you had to have the Supercross pass to watch it because it was displaced. It was displaced by the 12 hours of Sebring, which I understand. It's a big event, but
So fun fact, since Scotty Lamp is in the stream here, Scotty Lamp. Well, actually, he was in the league race with us. Scott Lamp and my dad, and all their friends and Scotty's uncle used to race motocross all together, and they used to be known as the Michigan Mafia. And they were pretty good back in the day. Thank you, Hydra, for the snacks. Okay, let's get back to this word association. Xbox.
360. I don't know.
360 is the first thing that comes to mind. All right,
Yeah.
all right.
I
Podium.
I just end up adding words to whatever you're saying. It's not a reactionary thing.
Yeah.
Podium.
Podium.
Podium. Trophy.
Oh, I had a good one here. Where did it go? Oh, pit stops.
Pit stops.
Yeah.
Missing the box.
Oh my gosh. Mark did the same thing. There's got to be something in this new package where it just does not get down. You know what it
It
is? It's the
is.
stalling. It's got to be the stalling.
It is. It's getting, well, you're used to just being able to kind of load onto the brake and not have to worry about the clutch.
Mm-hmm.
And you're really using the engine to slow the car down. And now that you're having to use the clutch and stuff, it doesn't slow down as quick. Not that I was very good at getting in and out of the pit box beforehand, but that's what
Wow.
it feels like.
Man, yeah, it's weird because Mark, you guys have run these things all the time. Pit stalls, no problem with you guys. But I spotted for Mark, and the same exact thing happened twice. Whoop, stalled it, rolled right on through the pit stall, and I even said, Mark, don't stall it and roll through your pit stall. And immediately after, he did
That's
it.
exactly what he did. Yeah.
Yeah. So
And you're like, is that Aaron?
yeah,
Just
outdoors.
logged in under Mark's screen name.
Outdoors is a screen name?
No, saying like I was driving Mark's.
Oh, gotcha.
I was on Mark's account sliding through the pit box. It was just
okay. Sorry, I said outdoors. Next word association.
Outdoors, trees.
Tree. Okay.
I don't know.
This is actually,
Outdoors.
you think you suck at it, but this makes for good conversation. Trees. Okay.
Tree
Trees. Pizza.
and wings.
Pizza. Ooh. See, Aaron, we might be brothers, because, dude, that's my
Yeah.
drugs. Junk food, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
I love it. I
yeah.
love it.
Absolutely. I mean, we're from upstate New York, so I mean, we know what chicken wings are. Believe me.
Record store.
Record store. I mean, I would say vinyl.
Vinyl. Okay. Okay. Nickelback.
Underrated.
Really? Really? I have to hear this. Aaron, of all people, I'm kind of shocked this is coming from you because you're kind of a nonconformist, Like, you're kind of, you kind of go against the grain in most things. I have to hear this explanation about Nickelback being underrated.
I feel like that's almost kind of the contrary thing at this point. Everybody says Nickelback sucks.
Oh, well, you know what? You're right about that.
But I mean, personally, you can't ignore how many hits that they had.
Mhm.
I mean, you're the general public, people. I mean, you're the ones that listen to it on the radio. And
I bought their first two albums. I really
sure,
did.
I didn't buy any of them, but believe me, I had them on my way back when, before I even had an iPod or anything. I had it was just Real Player.
Oh,
So I,
jeez.
download music on LimeWire and load it into the Real Player.
Yeah, I remember that stuff.
Kids are like, "What the hell is Real Player?" It's like, imagine
Yeah.
like Windows Media Player, only it only plays music.
And remember, it used to play only certain formats. It's like, oh, if you want to
Yeah.
use this player, you have to have this format. Oh, I hate you.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So we're going to end the word association there. One very shocking one. We've got about 10 minutes left. So let's get to the questions here. Aaron, that flew by. I knew it would.
Huh?
I knew it would. All right, let's get to some questions here that some people had for you. Wow, people have been chatty with us, Aaron. They have been
Yes.
chatty.
Yeah, there were
Okay.
some good ones. I think that were earlier on.
So one question works into something I want to show. I'm going to only show. Oh man, we only have time for one of the clips I want to show of you, but we'll show my favorite one.
Okay.
You're lucky because I had some pretty embarrassing ones lined up for you.
Okay.
But Davis asks, what's your favorite iRacing moment, Aaron? Was it the 24-hour Daytona win?
In terms of like personal moments, yeah, I think so. There was a lot that went into that, and just a lot of other things going on. And I mean, we poured a lot into that. It wasn't just me; it was all the other team captains, and Hemi, came out of the woodwork and helped us and really kind of guided us the whole way. And it was a lot, and there was so much going on in that last stint where the chat broke. I didn't have the chat with me to kind of give me something to lean on and read while trying to, kind of remove myself and detach from like all this pressure from the guys behind us that double stinted and closed the gap. I think it was from 40 seconds down to 10 seconds.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And then those wrecks that happened in front of us, and somehow we missed those. And the other guys that were slowing down, that were teammates of the guys that were closing on. I mean, there's a lot that happened right there. And when we got to the end, I was so tired and I was exhausted. And, you know, Hemi, tells me, he's like, how does it feel? As before, we even get to the start finish line. And I at that point, like the emotions started to hit and I started to tear up, and just all that adrenaline kind of comes down and the emotion just crashes on you. I remember Wally Dallenbach saying that when.
Well, check this out. We got I got the last lap here, Aaron, of the 24-hour Daytona. This is my personal favorite Aaron Rodgers streaming moment as well. And let's watch this last lap here. You've just taken the white flag, and Hemi's going crazy.
Watch the chat too.
Yeah,
up in the top right. I couldn't see any of that. I normally have a chat window down in my lap right there where the steering wheel is, and it had crashed, and I couldn't restart the sim to get it back. So
let's check this out.
So the thing is right now the car's starting to get
Turn
really
this up. So Aaron, you're
iffy
up
when you
loud.
get, like, into
Hold off to
center.
the end of the video actually to say anything, otherwise it's gonna break our ears.
Just trying to make these corners as kind of wide and long as possible, or either that or just square them up and just drive straight off. So like that, we'll stop and just kind of go.
He's got company now, so I mean, you just gotta make a few more corners, just cruise and be done.
Right now, Hemi's saying just a few more
That's
corners
been
and
the
we're done.
toughest
You
corner
can hear
for
the
us this whole
excitement in his
time.
voice.
So we've got really one more corner to go here.
And you can hear the excitement coming in
Oh
Aaron's
man, I
voice
didn't
now.
do one to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Sponsored by Rolex or whatever.
Eyes forward, because he coming to keep your eyes forward, man. He's not gonna get you.
Coming to get you.
And he's gonna rush it with that stuff.
So Aaron's getting choked up a little bit here, you can hear. Here it comes. Come and take the checker. It's a 24-hour Daytona, and they've been working over a month on this.
How do you feel, dude?
Hemi just
Feeling
asked,
like I'm waiting for that
how
white
does
flag
it
to turn into
feel?
a checkered one when I get
which is
closer.
probably pretty awesome to hear that coming to take
I
the
don't
checker
believe
flag.
it.
Oh, of course Brandon's got to say that. Okay. He takes the checkered flag, and we'll bring that down. Always Brandon. Okay, Aaron, you can talk again. Always Brandon with the... All right. So, Aaron, yeah, that's my all-time favorite moment. I know that's something you'll probably never forget. That was so cool.
yeah, I mean, it was a lot, and really, I didn't want to drive the last stint. Hemi really insisted on it. He wanted me to do it, and I just was like, I don't know if you want me to do it, man. You're the fastest guy, and they're closing. But there was so much going on in there when he came across, he's like, that was freaking incredible stint of the day, and I just, believe me, I just had nothing left in me. All my emotion was gone. But it really reminded me of, like, after there was the Hendrick plane crash and Jimmy Johnson won that next week, and just the whole team just like collapsed. And Wally Dallenbach said something on the broadcast like that. It's like, it's exactly what happens. The adrenaline comes down, the emotion hits.
That's crazy. You could hear you getting choked up in that. And you know what really sucks about that? As awesome as a moment that was for everyone, I stayed up 23 hours and 40 minutes watching the entire thing, and I missed going across for the checker flag. You could actually watch it 5 minutes later, and I said, did I just miss you guys winning this race?
Yeah. And what my dad said in the chat is true. Hemi choked up too, and he's like, I got to get out of here.
Yeah.
He immediately, shortly after, he's like, I had to leave.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool moment, and even just watching it, I got kind of choked up too, because I woke up and you could hear how exhausted Aaron was after that, and that's like, oh, it was so cool, awesome moment.
Yeah, it was a great moment. I mean, just because we had worked so hard, and we didn't think that we were going to win that at all. I mean, at one point we were 4 laps behind the leader, and the leader had a problem, and we ended up passing him, and then, Brian, brought it home, and we were double stinting tires, and everything. It was incredible. And Tristan, he had made a mistake and was really down on himself. It was huge that we made that up and just pulled it all together. It was a huge deal. I mean, it was a lot of fun, and we had other teammates in the race with us as well that were there to
So
kind of
awesome.
celebrate with us. Yeah,
Definitely the crown jewel in A51.
I'd say so.
Hydro wants to know, have you guys ever played Real Racing video
I
game?
have. I have. That was another thing that I did when I was laid up, and did that on the tablet that I had, and ultimately the tablet I had was just not good enough to really run it, and it was just kind of, I wanted something better. I wanted something just more immersive than that, and I found it in iRacing.
Hydro's a big Real Racing, and I actually watch some of his videos. He puts clips up of it and everything every now
Yeah,
and again. Uh,
yeah, I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
Mark Mitchum wants to know, how was the nerves first time you took the race truck out in real life? And how much harder or easier was it to turn a fast lap? And I
And
guess than you
so
expected.
like, okay, so in long story short, I mean, I won't put rose-colored glasses on for the race truck. I mean, we had the race car and everything. We were never competitive. That wasn't the point. The point of it was that it was seat time, and the engine that we had a 305 that was, I think it was stroked or had some tune-up done to it, but everyone else had crate 350s. So we were down in power from them. The track participation was really low in this series, and the guy who owned the truck and put me in it, we were able to. They basically bent the rules to let us in. So the first time I went out on the track, though, I'll never forget. It was soaking wet. It was so muddy, and I was literally like crawling around on the low. And there was an inside wall, yeah, it was obviously I had no idea what the heck I was doing. But you get more comfortable as you go, But I think the highest I ever got up to, I think it was like fourth or third or something like that at one point in one of the races, just because there was a major accident that I missed because I was not there. And then you're in the middle of a restart and they just go, blowing by in through the corners and stuff. But I was extremely nervous at the time. I think I was 16 or 17.
Wow. Pretty young.
And yeah, I came back in the pits, and my dad was super proud. Like tore the window net like clean off of the truck, saying, like you're damn race car driver. It was a really cool thing. I won't forget that.
Oh, you were running it on paved tires? Like street tires?
Well, no, the truck was originally an asphalt truck, and so it had a 4-link suspension in it versus a 3-link suspension. So it was not built to do what we were trying to do with it. It really was just seat time.
Oh, that makes sense then. Okay. Scotty Lamp wants to know, Randy, have you ever met Aaron? Nope, never met Aaron. He lives, all the way over on the East Coast, and I've gotten to know Aaron because anytime we stream with each other, we wind up talking for 2 hours after the race, and Aaron's a cool dude. But I have never met Aaron. Maybe one day. I definitely want to get to North. There's a few guys I want to meet North
Oh,
Carolina.
heck yeah.
So
Yeah, we've talked about doing like a meetup at a race or something like that.
we got to do it.
I know, yeah, there's a lot of guys down here in North Carolina, which is where I'm at. And, Mark's down the road. I know that there's a guy who's in Coates, which is just down the road from me. There's a couple other guys that are outside of Charlotte or Greensboro, but there's a lot. At some point, we'll get out to a race and we'll meet up with people, and it'll be fun. A lot of people talked about doing the Roval last year, but we just didn't. But yeah, by all means, we'll meet up at some point for sure. I'm not adverse to meeting people. It's just
it's hard to get all these people lined up for it.
I never did the face reveal just mainly because I didn't feel like it brought anything to the stream. I mean, especially now because I'm in VR, you're just going to see some guy with a thing on his head. How fun is that to look at?
These people are going to ride if you don't show off your face.
I know. They're out. Unsubscribed.
Hydro wants to know, what's the craziest car you've ever driven?
The craziest car I've ever driven?
That's just the question. What's the craziest car you've ever driven? Eldora. Yeah, that's good. That's a good one.
Yeah. I drove a Hellcat at one point.
Oh, for real?
The first year the Hellcats came out, I got to drive one.
Yeah. The craziest car I ever drove was an Eagle Talon.
Those are crazy.
I'm just joking.
No, I'm dead serious. I mean, there's a friend of mine I went to college with. He had one that was like a 500 horsepower Talon. I mean, that car was insane.
Wow.
But I drove a Hellcat when they first came out, and no one really knew what they were yet. And I was working at a car dealership at the time, and that was intense.
B51 wants to know your history of racing games, earliest to now.
Oh, man, a chronology. That's a lot. I think Bill Elliott NASCAR Racing, NASCAR Racing, um, NASCAR 98. Or sorry, NASCAR Racing 98. A lot of these were PC based. My dad was a software engineer, so we had a good computer, so we could do that.
Jeez, Bruce,
I
you snob.
did. Oh, yeah, I know. Freaking engineer. No, so we had the PC. I had Nintendo 64. I had a PlayStation 2. I mean, I went through all the classic ones: NASCAR Thunder, Dirt to Daytona, um, Chase for the Cup, NASCAR Heat, the old one for PC. NASCAR Legends, I had that one as well. I had Viper Racing. That was another Papyrus Sierra kind of venture, which when they dissolved that, a lot of those engineers came over and created iRacing as you know it today.
Man, that's a lot. So do you think any of that spilled into iRacing and maybe some of the skill you have in those things?
No,
Oh, you don't
not
think so?
anymore. I mean, they talked about that, and there's not really any of that code left. I never played Rumble, Mark. I never did.
Oh, right.
Pole position, yeah. I mean, I remember pole position.
All right,
Sorry.
I saved the best for last. The last
Okay.
word association for the night, and then we're gonna raid somebody, and it's gonna be awesome. Word association. First word that comes to mind. Thorndike.
Martinsville.
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 Oh man, listen,
Good Lord.
guys. There's so many great inside stories with all the guys that watch Aaron's videos, and A51 Racing crew is awesome. I'm officially Beast Racing now, but I'll always be hanging out with the A51 guys. I mean, it's really, really something special, and I'm gonna ride that wave as long as it goes. So you guys are stuck with me whether you like it or not.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, for the guys who don't know exactly what that means, I mean, I can speak for it. That's a big deal. For Randy to be brought on with those guys, that's a really big deal for him, and I hope you guys support him in it. I know that I do. It's not like we've lost Randy or anything like that. He's going to get an opportunity that really I wish I had the time to pursue. But say we absolutely will keep an eye on you. Make sure you don't get too crazy.
Well, guys, Aaron, I appreciate you a ton, and A51 guys, love you guys. Beast Racing guys are in here, love you guys as well. We're gonna head on over now. Let's raid. This is my new team here. We're gonna raid them, and everyone just type "It's me, Randy" into the chat. Let's blow them up. So here comes a raid. I've never been in the Beast Racing stream or not. I don't know if it's good or if it's bad. I'm hoping it's good because it's my new team. So let's hop on in there. And let's get ready. So we've got 10 seconds here. And listen, go check out Aaron's. Whoops. Oh, no, they're not going to. What punks. They have that turned off.
Oh, what? They won't let you rate them.
There we go. Okay. And, well, that's it, guys. I appreciate all you guys a ton. And we'll check you out next one. Aaron, you're awesome. YouTube, Rodgers A51. Go check him out. Thank you.